welcome to my channel. This is Marisha. If you're new here, stick around to find out what we're about. So, we're outside today, and those who know me is probably wondering, why the hell are you outside when you have a studio? Well, I'm pretty sure we're all tired of the pink. I know I set up the background, but still the pink is kind of getting to me. But yeah, so let's get started. So if you are someone who builds things slowly, then you need to hear this. You don't become who you are by the big decisions that everyone sees. You become who you are by the small things that you don't quit when no one is watching. Gardens grow like that, channels grow like that, businesses grow like that, faith grows like that, even families grow like that. But most people are basically waiting to feel ready before they stay consistent. But I'm going to tell you now that peace, confidence, and clarity usually show up after consistency, not before, okay? So if today felt kind of quiet, a bit unproductive, unseen, that doesn't mean it doesn't matter, okay? It just means that it was a root today. Now, let's go a little deeper into this. So, most of the work that actually changes a person doesn't look very impressive in the moment that it's happening, okay? As a matter of fact, it looks repetitive, boring, and most of the time, pointless, okay? Because you wake up, you do the exact same thing over again, you still have doubts, and the results are still nowhere to be found. And that is usually where people quit. And it's not because they failed, but just simply because nothing dramatic happened. But here's a quiet truth, okay? Your mind is always being trained by what you repeatedly tolerate, okay? And it's in what you tolerate in your thoughts, what you tolerate in your schedule, what you tolerate in your relationships. And every time that you say, it's fine, I'll deal with it later, you are teaching yourself a pattern, okay? And patterns don't care about your interests, it doesn't care about your goals or your future, only your repetition. And that's why change usually feels very hard, okay? You are not fighting laziness. You are fighting familiarity. Even chaos can feel comfortable if it's what you know. It's just how human beings work. And the moment that you start choosing differently, not perfectly, just consistently, something very strange happens. Your old life starts to feel loud, very loud. The distractions start to kind of irritate you. And the excuses somehow don't land the same way anymore. That discomfort isn't a sign that you're doing something wrong, it is a sign that your identity is shifting. I think you know by now, but growth rarely announces itself with confidence. It's a whisper, and it says something like, this feels unfamiliar, but I think I should stay. So, if you are in a season where you're showing up without applause, without certainty, without immediate proof, I want you to stay anyway. Because that's where happiness begins. Now, if you haven't subscribed, please do consider subscribing. And before I forget, there's a buy me a coffee down in the link in the description if you want to support this kind of work. Yeah. Or not, you can continue watching. I just have to drop this here. Yeah. So, let's stay here a little longer. There is a moment in growth that almost no one really talks about. The moment when the old version of you stops working, but the new one isn't fully formed just yet. No, that space feels very uncomfortable, I know, because you've lost who you are, but you don't really have confidence in who you are becoming. And so, instinctively, we reach for the old, trying to grasp whatever it is we can grasp from our old version. Your mind will start reaching backwards, old habits will start calling you, hello, I'm still here. And the old comforts start to feel very tempting. And it's not because that it's good, it's not because it makes you feel good either, but simply because they're familiar. They're what you know. This is the danger zone, okay? Not because you'll fail, but because you might retreat. Here's a quiet rule of transformation, okay? You don't go back because you want to. You go back because you are tired of holding uncertainty. Because, well, certainty feels like safety, even when we know it's false. But the people who change their lives don't eliminate doubt. They learn how to walk with it, how to live with it, how to overcome it. They walk unsure and still act. They feel very unqualified and still show up. They don't wait for clarity. They let clarity catch up to them later. That is why discipline isn't about force. It is about identity protection. You are not trying to be better. You are guarding the person that you are becoming from being talked out of existence. Now here's something that is deeply human. When you start growing, the world doesn't cheer for you. It doesn't. It tests you, throws obstacles your way, and it tries its best to reverse your growth. Distractions are going to become louder, responsibilities are going to start piling up, and people misunderstand your quiet seasons. Not because you're wrong, but because growth rearrange expectations. So if lately you felt more alone in your thoughts, more selective with who you gave your energy with or what you gave your energy to, less interested in the noise, that is not emptiness. That is alignment beginning in your life. You are not falling behind. You are shedding weight that doesn't belong to the next version of you. And that version of you is built on days like this, when nothing dramatic is happening, and you still choose to stay. Now here's where it gets quieter, okay? There is a point where growth stops feeling like motivation and starts feeling more like responsibility. You come to realize that no one is coming to push you. No one is coming to rescue you. No one is going to come to unlock you. It sounds lonely and it feels very lonely, yeah, kind of. But strangely enough, that's when freedom begins. Because once you accept that your life is yours to carry, you stop waiting for permission to become serious. You stop explaining yourself. You stop performing progress. You stop chasing reassurance from people who don't even care. You begin to move differently. Not fast, not loud, just much cleaner. Cleaner decisions, cleaner boundaries, cleaner intentions. You come to learn that peace isn't the absence of problems, it's the absence of inner conflict. And when your actions stop arguing with your values, your mind finally has time to rest. And here's something that most people miss. The life you want doesn't require a new personality. What it requires is consistency with the parts of you that you already know better. That voice that nudges you to log off. It's time to stop scrolling. You've had enough today. To rest your mind, to tell the truth, to walk away from things that are not good for you. And that voice that speaks to us, it's not dramatic, it doesn't shout, it doesn't threaten you. It just repeats itself patiently, slowly, quietly. And every time you ignore it, it gets quieter. It doesn't get weaker, no, but it does get very quiet. But every time you listen, even once, it gets clearer. You see, you do not rise by becoming someone else. You rise by finally cooperating with the parts of you that truly wants your future. So if today you feel reflective instead of, reactive, still instead of stimulated, serious instead of scattered-brained, that is not you losing momentum. That is you arriving at a deeper pace. And the people who learn to move at that pace, they don't burn out. They don't need constant validation. They build things that last because they're no longer trying to escape themselves. They're finally walking with themselves. And that's that. Now, as usual, do whatever you want with all of this.